another keyframe here. Simple 1 second translation. So let's render this out. Let's go take a look at our screenshots folder. Okay, now we have all of our images here on our for our screenshots. Now what we do next is put these into another folder so that we can kind of consolidate all of the frames that we've done for this small shot. Put them here. Then usually I just press the refresh button, and what that does is just kind of give me a gallery of all of the images here. And notice that this is in alphabetical ascending order. So we're starting at the first frame here, and as we go through all of the frames here, notice that the barrel is moving from left to right. So then select the first frame like so, like this, and then you hit Control A to select all of the frames. Then you just press F2, which is a shortcut to rename your files. Then you can just rename this whatever you want. So I'll just call this, and then once you rename it, now it'll be listed in increasing numerical order, which is the format that DaVinci Resolve expects. Okay, now that we have OBS open, we create a new project. Okay, with our new project, we move to the media tab, hover over to these three dots, click it, go to frame display mode, and set this to sequence so that it will accept a sequence of images. Obviously, you go to your set of images that you've just renamed, highlight all of them, and then you copy it over. And if done correctly, you should only see one image here, and then when you hover over this, you should see the image playing. Drag this into our timeline, and we hit play. And the cool thing with image sequences is you won't be able to worry about any duplicate frames. So this is a good thing if you want to add motion blur to this entire shot. The motion blur expects some continuous movement between your previous frame and your next frame, so if you don't have that established, it's going to make the motion blur kind of look a little weird. Okay, yeah, so then here you just get a simple shot of this barrel moving, and it's moving with motion blur through this entire setup. And yeah, that's actually all there is to it when it comes to making image sequences. There isn't any sort of delays that you would expect when it comes to video playback, any sort of lag. So this would be a great option to have if you're working with multiple entities. Stop motion helper can't really process that many entities at once. If you're having trouble with playback lag, I would consider using stop motion helper's render to frames options. Before you actually drop your image in, if you have an expected frame rate that you want to play your videos in, you need to go to the bottom right here, which is your project settings. You go to your timeline frame rate, and you set this to whatever frame rate that you expect to play at. So in this case, I'm playing at 30 frames. Then you drag this back into here, and then it will play at 30 frames per second. If you drag this into here and then set the frame rate to whatever you want, if the image sequence that you've placed will actually play at that specific frame rate that you had previously. So if I had it at 24 before, this would play at 24. So it's imperative that you set your frame rate first before you drag and drop your image sequence in.